All right, let's light up, man.
So like,
What do you got? Nice.
just happen to
Definitely
have
go
them
with
with me.
that tatuaje right there.
You want me to?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You got
Nothing
a
nice.
cutter?
Yeah, straight cut.
Yep.
All right.
I had so much coffee, I'm shaking.
Let's get you charred up. I think you're ready to go. All right. I'm smoking Steve Saka's Umagog.
Haha, Steve. You're gonna have to tell me how that is.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a Tatuaje Reserva.
Yeah,
Flame on the bottom there.
little touch up at the bottom. All right, people, we're about to settle an ongoing argument in the cigar industry. Is it Boveda, or Bovada?
You know, we probably get more mispronunciations than the actual correct pronunciation, but it's Boveda.
Boveda.
Boveda, yeah. We've
Wow.
actually had someone say Bovesta, and I don't know where you get the S from, but people call it all kinds of things, so you don't have to
Bovesta.
feel bad about it.
Hey, you got
Yeah.
any Bovestas in the shop?
I don't know
what you're
how or
talking
where that
about,
came
man.
from, but I think it was serious.
Yeah, so I've been saying Boveda for like 3 years, so I'm like gonna constantly have to like correct myself now. Like I feel like my whole life in the cigar industry has just been like a whole lie now.
We probably get more Boveda and Boveda than Boveda, believe it or not.
Right. There you have it, people. Boveda. And this is from Daniel P. Murphy. He is the Senior Vice President and General Counsel of Boveda Two-Way Humidity Control.
Yeah, we throw that on the card to make me look better than I am.
Oh, yeah?
People might listen to me.
Nah, man, but I think it's actually really cool that you have a job in the cigar industry like this. And
Yeah, it's a great industry with a lot of great people. I mean, talk about having fun while you work and doing something you enjoy, and it's made better by the fact that Boveda itself is just a great company to work with and for. The founders couldn't find better guys, all cigar consumers to start with. It was named one of the best places to work at in Minnesota, so
Wow.
it's a great place to work. And if you're ever out in Minneapolis, you should stop by the office.
absolutely. So, how did you wind up meeting up with these guys? Like, where did you meet them? How did it come about? Like, how you got into them?
You know, it's a long story, and it's probably be too long. You'd cut most of it out. So the short story is that I had met Carlos Fuente Jr., Carlito.
Oh, Carlito.
And, Carlito.
I actually met him at an event over at Holtz.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I took a quick snapshot of him, of me holding the Añejo Shark.
Oh, yeah, great cigar, a great guy. He had invited me to a cigar event that night, and I didn't know anyone in the industry. I wasn't in the industry at the time, and it's almost 20 years ago. And so I walked in feeling a little, you feel a little embarrassed because you don't know if you belong somewhere when you don't know anybody. And the two guys I see as soon as I walk in were Sean Knutson and Tim Swale, the two of the four founders of Boveda. And
Wow.
we just started talking immediately, and I said, these guys are like the guys I grew up with, just great guys. And one thing led to another.
Wow, that's really awesome.
That was back in 2002.
Back in 2002. So, how did Boveda come about? Like, how did they discover the whole two-way humidification and stuff like that?
That's a pretty good story too. It was discovered, the company was started by the four founders, two retired PhDs, chemist and packaging engineer, who had invented and developed this technology. The technology is based on an old principle of physics, whereby certain salt solutions, chlorides, maintain different relative humidities. But theory into a substance is a big step, something that I would never know how to do. But these guys invented the technology, and they met Sean and Tim, who had the idea of how to apply it. They were cigar smokers and needed a better solution on how to keep cigars fresh, age them, keep it at the proper humidity. and they developed the humidor pack, the first humidor two-way humidity control.
Wow, that's awesome.
There it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for being a customer.
Hey, man. I just know that humidification for your cigars are very important, and you know, it was always like that constant struggle between like the beads or the sponge or the cup of water. You know, like I've done that.
Yep.
And, nothing really worked so good as the.
No, I mean, like I said, we were all consumers to start with, and we've all ruined cigars in the past, either gotten them moldy, mildew, wrappers loosen up or crack, or you forget about them and they're dried out. We get a lot of those questions still. Oh, I forgot about these cigars. I stored them in something else. They're dry. What can I do about it? And so really Boveda was just a great innovation, you know, not only for the industry, but for us in particular. It's been solved a million problems. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to care about it. You just put them in and check it a few months later. And when it starts to get hard, you need a new one. It's that simple.
Oh yeah.
And it can't over-humidify. It won't under-humidify in a sealed environment. So the only reason it even loses humidity is if your cigars soak it up till equilibrium, or when you're opening your humidor, you don't have a great enough seal, or you lose it through the wood over time. But other than that, it's keeping it absolute constant because it'll take it in and out. And that's the difference between everything that came before it, which is really just a sponge where your cigars would soak it up till there's equilibrium, just soak up all the humidity.
Right. Either that or it's just constant out.
Yeah, I mean,
Kind of holds that perfect balance of
that's
humidification.
Exactly. Like today it's raining, it's a little more humid. It would actually probably take moisture into the pack to keep the same humidity level. Tomorrow, if it's dry and the heat's on, it'll be pushing it out just to keep that same humidity level. So your cigars don't go up, down. That's where you get the cracks and the loosening of wrappers over time.
I've had a couple cigars like that. I'd light one up and the whole thing would like just completely explode.
Yeah, and when you're smoking $5 to $20 cigars, I mean, why do you want to do that? You don't want to waste one cigar.
Yeah, I don't want to waste any of them. Definitely don't want to do that. So, heard also a lot of cool different things that, you know, different directions that Boveda is going into. So what do you think's in Boveda's future? Because I heard you guys were kind of dabbling in the marijuana industry up in Canada. So how's that going?
Well, we're actually, cigars is where we started. It's our biggest industry segment, but we are involved in other industries. Probably now the second largest would be cannabis. We've been involved in wood instruments for a long period of time. Both of those are different humidity levels. And then we have smaller applications in things like photos, printing, electronics, pet food, pharmaceuticals, anything that has a high value and you need to keep at a certain humidity level. We'll go from anywhere from about 9 to 90%. We have different applications. So different products, different humidity levels. And that's the one thing you want to remember. You don't want to put your music Boveda pack in your cigar humidor or vice versa.
Wow, like who knew that like humidifying a cigar could go in so many different directions, you know? And that's really amazing. That's amazing. It's really cool having you here today, man.
Hey, it's great to be here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was actually this was all actually pretty coincidental, you know. I was here just for a normal night during my shift last night. In the middle of a double, and you kind of like stumbled in here. It was like
I was
cool.
walking by and I could smell a little cigar smoke on the sidewalk. At first I thought someone was out there smoking a cigar walking along. I was trying to see who it is, and as I got closer I looked in and I saw these cigar facings in here. I mean, it's not just a cigar bar. You got a great selection of cigars, so I couldn't resist walking in, and you guys couldn't have been more gracious and hospitable last night. It was great to stop in and have a cigar.
Well, it was a pleasure being of service here and having you here at the shop, man. And, you know, you guys are probably like 80–90% of the travel humidors in the country, you know? Like, everybody, every time I see someone come in here with a little Cigar humidor to have a Boveda in their box. I almost said Boveda, it almost slipped out. Yeah. So
I think I told you last night, we want to be in 100% of all humidors. but it's even more imperative in a travel humidor like that when it's airtight, because when it's airtight, it's not losing any moisture. So if you put beads or foam or anything else in there, there's nowhere for that humidity to go except into the cigar. So you're going to end up with mold in a too humid of a cigar. So you put the Boveda in, and it'll just keep it at that humidity level. You don't have to worry about it. And it's going to last forever in a sealed environment. I mean, not literally forever, but it's going to last maybe a year if you don't open it.
Did you ever have a tube of beads explode on your humidor?
I remember back in the day.
What a pain in the ass that is.
It just drips out, and you look in, and you got a cigar that's soaking wet with a little glue on it. And it's
you gotta
like,
kind of let them dry completely out, dust off the old beads, clean everything out. Oh man, it was a huge mess. And
no one should be doing that anymore.
Nah, I know with Boveda, it's like no problem. You slip it in there, you don't even have to think about it. I completely trust and rely upon this product.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
You know, and it's you know, there's no other reason why you guys are the global leader in two-way humidity control. You know?
Yeah, it's a patented product, so there's really nothing else like it. Everything else is just a humectant that pushes out humidity until your cigars are saturated, until there's equilibrium between whatever you filled up with water and your cigar, and that's not what you want. And that's the mistake some people make either in a travel humidor or even in their home humidors. They think, oh, well, I'll put in some beads or gel with a Boveda. Well, you're defeating the purpose a little bit, because sure, the Boveda will take it in until capacity, but so will your cigars. So your cigars are still soaking up too much moisture, and there's no need to do that.
That just about wraps it up, man, and I really appreciate having you here. Like, this was
That's quick and easy. I feel bad. You told me it was your first broadcast. I hope people tune in for a second one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I hope they do too, man. And I've been working really hard on this, and it was really an honor and a pleasure having you here.
Same here.
I couldn't have been more fortunate to have you come in here.
The one thing I'd leave you with, a lot of times people are afraid to ask questions about cigars or how to store them because they're afraid of sounding like they don't know as much as they should or asking a stupid question. There's really no stupid question. You can always look on our website at www.bovedainc.com.
I'll leave the link in the description.
Give us a call. Ask any questions you want. Send it in an email. Ask someone who might know. Ask yourself. Ask someone at a cigar shop, and if they don't know, don't make it up. Just look it up.
Right. And I even put this in my bio on top of my Instagram page at Jared No Cigars. You can never know everything about cigars. You know, there's always something new to learn. There's always something, you know. So I always try to remain humble and teachable in the cigar industry.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The more I think I know, the more I learn I don't know. Like, we go down to the factories, we see them in the fields, and it's like, wow, I have a tremendous amount of respect for the guys that grow the tobacco, age it, roll it. You learn something every time. You can never know it all. I mean, these guys are great. They're geniuses, really.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate this.
Thank you.
What's up, people? I want to thank you for tuning in to Jared No Cigars. If you liked the video you saw today, make sure you like, comment, and share. Don't forget to subscribe. And hit that bell at the bottom. That way you get a notification anytime new content comes onto my channel. Thank you.